Hello everyone, my name is Margaret Hovis, and today I'm going to be talking to you about public relations within the Nashville organization Collective615. To get started, I'm going to give you a little bit of background information about this organization. Collective615 is a West Nashville, Tennessee co-working space designed specifically for women. It's a space designed for women who would typically work remotely, most specifically small business owners who cannot afford an entire office space but still need to get work done. It works like a gym, with monthly membership fees and a few different levels of membership to choose from based on each woman's professional needs. In addition to providing a space to work, Collective615 hosts events, panels, and all sorts of networking mixers to get members active in their respective Nashville industries. Collective615 was founded by entrepreneur and local businesswoman Kathy Thomas in 2019 in order to give women a space to work within which they can connect and network with other women. Kathy, a professional photographer, began looking for an office space for herself in 2017 when she recognized the lack of offices designed for women in Nashville. All of the options seemed to be overwhelmingly masculine and did not offer the motivation and inspiration she had hoped to find. Kathy soon discovered that many other female entrepreneurs in Nashville were feeling the same way. It was upon finding historic L&L Marketplace that Kathy felt as though she had finally found the perfect spot to bring her dream to life. Now I'm going to give you a quick glimpse into the public relations efforts within this organization. Collective615 public relations efforts are integrated and managed in-house by founder Kathy, co-founder Stevie, and founding member Christina. The organization's most prevalent PR practices are media relations, member relations, and community relations. These PR efforts are most important to Collective615 right now, as the success of a new, for-profit organization depends on sufficient exposure to potential paying members. Now I'm going to go into a situation analysis of the organization. I'll start with the strengths. One of Collective615's strengths is that it offers a collection of unique services in the midst of a high-demand market. Nashville is a rapidly growing city full of entrepreneurial women, and Collective615 is offering a space for these women to do their work surrounded by a community of like-minded individuals. Collective615 is also incredibly well-branded and is owned by an individual who understands the importance of building and maintaining a strong brand. Long before Collective615's opening in 2020, founder Kathy Thomas created a brand guideline deck which outlined every aspect of the Collective615 brand, from the font and colors to be used in all creative assets to the brand's voice on all social media communications. Having thought through the Collective615 brand in such detail, Kathy Thomas has set the brand up for success in creating easily identifiable assets. Now for the weaknesses. Collective615 doesn't have too many identifiable weaknesses, but one evident weakness is the limited private office space offered. Collective615 is set up in such a way that most members who come in on a daily basis have to work in a wide-open common space, rather than a private office space like what is offered by many other co-working spaces in Nashville. This may be a red flag for potential members, as many people might get distracted by the many conversations and happenings going on in the common space. While you can reserve one of Collective615's 3 private office spaces for special occasions, this is not accommodating of all people's individual needs, as some members may need a private office space on a daily basis. Now for the opportunities. With Collective615 being an organization dedicated to the professional formation of Nashville women's careers, the COVID-19 pandemic that is currently handicapping our world is greatly affecting the organization and its members. The biggest opportunity facing Collective615 right now is the fact that almost all of their members are currently being forced to work from home due to stay-at-home orders put in place to prevent further spread of the novel coronavirus. While Collective615 members can't physically gather at this time, the organization should take advantage of this opportunity to grow their online community. For example, many companies are using platforms such as Instagram's live video feature and TikTok to continue connecting with their clients during quarantine. Collective615 could use this as an opportunity to continue professional networking events, but do them in an online format rather than in person. This would be a great step for the organization not just during this time of uncertainty with the pandemic, but having a strong online presence is important for any modern organization. And finally, the threats. Similar to the opportunities, the biggest threat to Collective615 is the COVID-19 pandemic currently plaguing our world. Due to the CDC's quarantine recommendations and many states' adoptions of stay-at-home orders, neither current members nor potential members are able to get out and actually visit Collective615 physically for an indefinite amount of time. This presents a number of issues for Collective615, the most pressing being that without members able to use the facilities for which they are paying, Collective615 is going to be left no choice but to refund memberships for the time missed. And women who have been considering purchasing a membership will be required to wait and may not end up following through once the severity of the current situation lessens. Now let's take a look at the publics of this organization. We'll start with the producers. Producers of Collective 615 include employees who keep the daily operations of the business running smoothly, investors who help finance the organization, and vendors or collaborators who provide their goods and services for events in collaboration with Collective 615. These women all prioritize the business ventures of fellow women living in Nashville, and they will go out of their way to support members of this community. Now for the consumers. Consumers of Collective 615's services are paying members. These women have an interest in socializing while working and feeling a part of a larger community within their workplace. Enablers of Collective 615 consist of social media influencers who spread the mission of Collective 615 to their followers, and media sources who discuss Collective 615 on their respective platforms and by doing so promote the organization. And lastly, Collective 615's competing Nashville co-working spaces are limiters to the organization. Businesses such as Industrious, WeWork, and Center 615 may offer better pricing, amenities, and or include men in their target demographic, limiting the success of Collective 615. Now we're going to take a look at the current public relations strategies within the organization. For the projects, the first one is the News Channel 5 WTVF interview that Kathy Thomas did. In June of 2019, Kathy Thomas did an interview with Alexandra Kane of News Channel 5 discussing her plans for Collective 615. This was one of the earliest tactics implemented by the organization, as it took place 7 to 8 months before Collective 615 even opened for business. Collective 615's website is also a project of the organization, and it's the organization's most important PR tactic. It acts as both a landing page for potential members to find detailed information about the organization and its offerings, as well as a launch pad for current members to access the member portal. It supports the organization's mission in that it's a modern way for women to connect and collaborate, both personally and professionally. And lastly, Kathy Thomas was featured on episode 17 of businesswoman Brandy Garr's podcast, She Who Dares, in February 2020, soon after Collective 615's opening day. The title of this episode was Building a Female-Focused Business, and focused both on Thomas's professional wedding photography business and the process of starting a business like Collective 615. Now let's move into the programs. Collective 615 offers a scholarship program for women who may not be able to afford a membership on their own. This program directly supports Collective 615's mission in that it demonstrates the organization's support of advancement of all women, regardless of socioeconomics. For every 6 memberships purchased, Collective 615 will fund 1 membership for a woman in the Nashville community who meets a set of specific requirements. And finally, we're going to move into my recommendations for this organization. The first being paid media campaigns. Right now, Collective 615 isn't currently running any advertisements through paid media channels. I think it would be incredibly effective for the organization to begin running advertising campaigns through channels like Facebook and Instagram and Google. These campaigns would also potentially increase the organization's social channel followers. People being served these advertisements may not be immediately ready to purchase a membership, but rather choose to follow Collective 615 on Instagram or Facebook to learn more about the brand before making a definitive choice. My second recommendation for Collective 615 is to consider creating and implementing a blog incorporated into their current website. They could have current members write pieces about a number of things, whether that be related to their own industry, starting a business, working for yourself, working from home, how to promote yourself and your business through networking, etc. This would be a great tactic to implement because it would catch the attention of people searching for topics related to the blog articles, which brings in a whole new audience of people to the website, not just those currently looking for a co-working space in Nashville. And finally, my third and final recommendation for Collective 615 is that now that the organization is open for business and is booming with members and events, they should do another interview with a news source, similar to what they did with WTVF in June of 2019. With the coronavirus pandemic in full swing right now, they'd obviously have to wait until the world returns to normal, but this is something they can be arranging now. Giving the media an inside look at what a typical day in the life at Collective 615 looks like would be great publicity for the organization. It'd bring the brand back to front of mind for consumers who may have heard of it but forgot, and it would also expose the brand to a whole new set of consumers who may not yet have heard of the brand. And that's it. Thank you guys.